Namaste, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning to everyone watching us from Nepal, and good afternoon to everyone who are watching us from Australia. So we are once again back with Kangaroo live session in Kangaroo Education Foundation, Education and Visa Services Facebook pages and our YouTube channel. So today we are going to talk about something related to migration, which is of great interest for all the international inhabitants residing in Australia, whether that be students or whoever are there in other categories of visa. So we are particularly talking about South Australian immigration policies and the provisions for the international students and other categories of residents in Australia. Talking about South Australia, beautiful state, I must say. The capital city, Adelaide, is really beautiful. Barossa Valley and the Kangaroo Island are the famous places when we think about South Australia. Adelaide is consistently ranked in one of the most livable cities in the world. Last year only, it was ranked third position. It's for 2021. So for 2021, this year, the third most livable city in the world that was awarded to Adelaide. So we can easily understand that this is the most sought after place to live, study, work, and spend the life. So we'll be having a conversation regarding the visas today, especially the migration visa, and particularly 491 visa, 190 visa, and other related visa relating to the migration. So before that, let me open up with a video of the beautiful South Australia and Adelaide. So we'll be playing the video and I'll come back again with my guests today.
Can you keep it up for 2 minutes? Yes.
All right, so that was beautiful South Australia and beautiful Adelaide. So I'd like to invite my guest without any further ado. I have with me Mr. Anil Upreti, who is the Registered Migration Agent and also the Chief Operating Officer of Kangaroo Australia. Welcome, Anilji.
Thank you, sir. Namaste सबैजनालाई.
Okay, so I also have with me Mr. Prabhat Badal, who is the Business Development Manager based in Kangaroo Education Foundation, Education and Visa Services Adelaide office. Welcome, Prabhat.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone, from the third most livable cities in the world.
All right, that's great. We also have Mr. Prakash Pokhrel, who is the Office Manager of Kangaroo Education Foundation, Sydney office. Welcome, Prakash.
Namaste, sir. Welcome, everyone. Please, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We'll answer all the questions. Thank you.
All right. So what we'll be doing today is first our Registered Migration Agent Anil Upreti will be presenting the facts and figures and the procedures about South Australian migration. And after that, we'll be having the question answer session wherein Prabhat and Prakash will be asking the question, the unanswered question, of course, and if there is any need for the further clarification. I also encourage all our viewers to post your questions in our comment section. We'll be taking those questions as well. So सबैजना हाम्रो जुन दर्शकहरूले हेरिराख्नु भएको छ उहाँहरूलाई आफ्नो साउथ अस्ट्रेलियाको माइग्रेसनसँग रिलेटेड, पिआरसँग रिलेटेड, भिजासँग रिलेटेड केही पनि यहाँहरूको क्वेसन छ भने कृपया कमेन्टमा राख्न नहिचकिचाउनु होला। हामीसँग आज रेजिस्टर्ड माइग्रेसन एजेन्ट अनिल उप्रेती हुनुहुन्छ जसले यहाँहरूको सबै प्रश्नहरूको उत्तर दिनुहुनेछ। सो आशा छ मलाई यो सेसन चाहिँ लाभदायक हुन्छ होला। So I'll now be handing it over to Mr. Anil Upreti. Anil Upreti has been practicing as a registered migration agent in Australia. So he has got a bit of knowledge about all the visas, migration, the policies, the changes. We'll be having that benefit today of hearing directly from our migration agent, Mr. Anil Upreti. So I'd like to welcome Anilji and request you for presenting your today's presentation and also the interaction. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So South Australia is a very livable city. It's a very favorite place for migration purpose as well. It's been there for quite a long, a very reliable place, though rules keeps on changing. So today I'll be presenting about the recent changes for 491, 190 nomination criteria. South Australia has been a little bit flexible than last year. They have more quotas than last year, and that means it will be a good news for the people who have already graduated from there or who are working in the occupation in their own nominated occupation, or they are living in outer regional area. There are lots of concessions and waiver options available. So I'll start my presentation. If you have any question, you can ask at the end. We'll address that at the end of the presentation. All right, so this is just a brief. So we are from Kangaroo Education team. So this is the general nomination requirement. I have only mentioned the background thing that we may require while applying for nomination in South Australia. So we should be living there or be a resident there. We should be under 45. So occupation must be in the South Australia occupation. That's a very important thing. So if you are applying for the nomination, you must check your occupation. If it is in the South Australia occupation list or not, you should have a positive skill assessment of that occupation. They prefer someone working in their nominated occupation, or if they are working in any other occupation, depending upon the different stream of the nomination criteria they have. So English, normally it's a proficient English they require. And also every occupation have a certain point requirement criteria. So when we check the SA occupation, we can see the minimum point that particular occupation require to get the invitation. And another one is the nomination stream. There are 3 nomination streams that we have to choose from while applying the nomination. And the third one is, so we need the EOI. So expression of interest need to be lodged prior lodging the application for the nomination. Okay, so there are three nomination streams. One is Talent and Innovators Program. Second one is currently working in South Australia, including the long-term residents of South Australia. The third one, the most popular one, is the International Graduates of South Australia. So I'll be discussing each of them on the next slides. So for Talent and Innovators Program, there are different streams while applying the nomination. This has given a lot of opportunity for applying for the especially 491 nomination for many of our clients. So the first one is the employment stream. So this is available to anyone who is living in Australia. It doesn't have to be particularly only living in South Australia. But the hardest part is the company needs to be having a annual turnover of around 4 million. Need to have a job offer. If you're already living in South Australia, you should be working in the company. Your salary should be around 80 grand. So, but you can apply anywhere in Australia. You can be in South Australia or outside South Australia, but in Australia. Outer regional South Australia. So if you are living in a regional area, you will have a certain consistency as well. If you're living for 12 months, 6 months working, so there are some criteria according to the nominated occupation. We need to meet that as well. The third one is startup and the small businesses. If you're planning to open a business, if you have the entrepreneurial skill, and if your business is ongoing for 12 months, or if you are living there for 12 months, and if you are planning to operate a business, that might be another option. So high performing graduates, independent talents, which means if you have a higher GPA, or if you can score very good English score, then you may qualify for 491 or 190. So the second program is currently living and working in South Australia. So if you are working for 20 hours or per week or 40 hours fortnightly in your nominated occupation, then you may qualify for 491 or 190. Normally, if you are working part-time, you'll qualify for 491 nomination. There are many waivers and concessions available for someone working outside Greater Adelaide. So if you are working for normally 12 months in outer regional area, then you may qualify for 491. If you are working for 24 months in the regional area, in any occupation, you may qualify for 190. If you don't qualify for both of them, you may choose to go to large nomination via Talent and Innovators Program. For Talent and Innovators Program, you have to submit ROI, so registration of interest, and it's under their discretion to choose which nomination to grant, either 491 or 190. And the other one is long-term resident South Australia. So this is another popular program. So if you are a former graduate who is residing for 3 years, working for last 12 months in any of the 3 years, in any skill occupation, normally 1 to 4. So normally in skill level, it's a caring occupation. For skill level 4, you should be working at least 20 hours or 40 hours fortnight. So cleaner divers, kitchen and are not eligible. And if you are earning 80,000 per annum and working full-time in highly skilled occupation, then you may be eligible for 190, otherwise it's 491. So other temporary visa holders. So if you are any other temporary visa holders and residing in SA for 5 years, then you may qualify for 491 as well. So the third options for long-term residents is Safe Haven Enterprise Visa. It's quite similar to previous one. So if you are living for 5 years and working for 12 months in skill level 1 to 4, skill level 4 should be normally 𝐏𝐫𝐸𝐬𝒑, you may qualify for 491 occupation nomination. So the most popular one is the International Graduates of South Australia. So to qualify for this stream, for this program, students need to study at least 50% of their course in South Australia, must be a graduate in South Australia, resided at least 1 year during the period of study. So you must be working as per the requirement according to the South Australia occupation list, 20 hours per week or 40 hours fortnightly. If you work less than 35 hours, you'll qualify for 491. If you work more, you may qualify for 190 visa. So if you're a high-performing graduate, that means if you have a very good GPA, if you have 5 to 5.99 GPA, you may qualify for 491. If you have 6 GPA, you may qualify for 190. So South Australia is now open to overseas applicant as well, but only for certain occupations. And this occupation requires very high long-term work experience. I think around 5 years work experience, and you need very high point and high English requirement as well. Okay, so South Australia nomination applications were open on 20 July 2021 this month, and the quotas has been increased to 2,600 for both 190 visa and 491 visa. So these are the popular courses where most of our students are studying currently. So cookery, safe cook, all of these occupations are in the occupation list, South Australia occupation list. All of them might have different criteria while applying for 491 or 190. Some of them may require the work. Some of them may be the job requirement may be work if you are living in outer regional area, or if you have a higher English results, or if you have the higher GP, you may be exempted for the work requirement. So overall, the recent changes. So there were some changes, some flexibility that were provided for this 2021-22 financial year. And the first one is if you lived in 12 months in outer regional area and working in any occupation, so you may qualify for 491 nomination. So the second one is if you lived in South Australia for 3 years, worked 20 hours for 12 months in skill level 1 to 3 or caring occupations like aged care, you may be eligible for 491 nomination. So the third one, if you have a 6 GPA, if you studied in SA and if you have 6 GPA, then you'll be considered for 190 nomination. And if you have 5 to 5.99 GPA, you'll qualify for 491 nomination. And if you have superior English, not all the occupation I would say, but depending upon the eligible criteria, most of them will qualify for 491 nomination. So we must check the South Australia occupation list, because every occupation might have different eligibility. They may not qualify for all the programs. And that's all from my presentation. Okay, so moving ahead, if you have any question, you can post in our question section. I will be more than happy to answer it now. And if it is very fast, we will need to set up a phone consultation and we can discuss it over the phone, or you can visit our Adelaide office. Yeah. Professor, I would like to hand it over to you now.
Yeah, thank you, Anil sir. It was very informative. Yeah, thank you so much for providing all the information that are required for the international student. Whoever wants to know about the recent changes for like South Australian migration changes. After getting all the information from your side, we'd like to ask you some of the questions which are very important for international students when you are doing counseling. So as per the new changes, so what sort of international student will be benefited mostly in your opinion? Because you have been handling the cases for like over few times. As per your experience, what sort of international student will be benefited mostly?
So now we can see many of the states, they are being more and more flexible because of the border closure. Not many students can come in at this time. So and every state needs people to boom. So South Australia has been flexible for international students. So someone who are studying in Adelaide, so they will be highly benefited, because normally they will meet the criteria, the initial criteria to apply for the nomination, especially if they are living in outer regional area and working there. They would surely qualify for at least 491. So while moving to South Australia, so we need to check if they are in South Australia, they will be highly benefited for sure. If they are in Greater Adelaide, they might require to work for 3 months to 6 months to 12 months, depending upon their occupation. But if they are moving from different states to Adelaide, then they might want to live in outer regional area, work there, and maybe study in the Greater Adelaide area.
Yeah, fantastic. So if any international student, they are thinking to move to Adelaide for their further study, that could be a very fruitful for them. So as per the new rules and regulations, South Australia is prioritizing the students studying in South Australia. So we can welcome all the international students who wish to come to South Australia for their study. So we based in Adelaide. So we are happy to help. Like if you want to come over from interstate like Melbourne, Sydney, or any other state. So we have offices in different cities, so, and we have office in Adelaide as well to help you out. So yeah, thank you so much. And I just want to get more information regarding the difference between 491 and 190 visa. So what do you say? What is the like a most basic difference between 491 and 190?
So normally with 190, if you have graduated from Adelaide and if you can find a job in your own nominated occupation, it's highly likely you will get 190. Okay, but if you can find a job in your own occupation, then it is more likely you will, or if you can't find a job, then it is more likely you will get the 491 nomination. So that's simply I can explain. Otherwise, we have to check the South Australia occupation list because different occupation has different requirement. Not everybody qualifies for 190. It's there are around 25% people maybe they qualify for 190 out of 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So the one basic question we are getting is because the students are very fresh for the migration, so they have heard a lot about 190 visa and 491 visa, but they are not really sure. So what does it mean 491 visa and what does it mean 190 visa? So how do you
okay, so 491 visa. So we're talking about after getting the visa. So 491 visa is a regionally sponsored visa. So when the visa is granted, they'll get 5 years visa, and out of that 5 years, it's not a permanent visa. It's a permanent leading to permanent. That is 191 visa. So it will be leading to 191 visa. That will be the PR. So this is a 5 years visa, and they have to work out of that 5 years, 3 years in any occupation. They need to either of the applicant need to earn 53,900 every year to qualify for the permanent residency. That's 491, and normally after getting the 491, there is no condition to stay in any regional area. But however, we would recommend to stay because it's up to the client if they want to move in. Okay, because they after getting the invitation state wouldn't like applicant moving here in different states. So the next one is 190. So with the 190, it's a state nomination visa. So 190 is a direct PR. Any visa that starts with 1 is a PR. And after getting that visa, we have 2 years of commitment to stay in that state. And that's why states give you that nomination, so that you will stay there, you will support the state, you will help it to grow and invest your skill in that state. So that's the criteria for 190. You are eligible for Medicare for 491 after getting the visa, and also for 190. So that's the only difference. So one is not a PR, but it's almost PR. That's 491 because we qualify for Medicare. That's what we get after getting the PR anyway. And 190 is a PR, but still you have to stay in the same state for 2 years. That's the commitment.
All right. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, thank you so much for clarifying the doubt. Yeah. Definitely, Adelaide being the most beautiful cities in the world and third most popular cities, livable cities in the world at the moment. So I don't think any of the students they wants to move to the different states after getting some sort of visa anyway. Exactly. So definitely getting a 491 visa could be a good options for the international student to live and work in South Australia because it's very beautiful. We have Adelaide Hills or Barossa Valley, and Adelaide is itself like a very beautiful cities, and we have a lot of Nepalese community as well as different communities like Indian or Bangladeshi or South Asian community. So it's a very beautiful cities to live. And on top of that, I'd just like to ask you, we have been hearing a lot of nursing programs in South Australia. So basically South Australia is most popular for the nursing program. So can you just explain a bit more regarding the requirement for 190 and 491 visa for the nursing graduates from South Australia, please?
Okay, so with South Australia, it's a very popular destination, especially for nurse background. So whoever who have seen migrating, mostly they go for nurse course. That might be a diploma of nursing or bachelor of nursing because they will qualify for additional TR. And at the same time, they know after being a graduate, they'll find a job and they just need to work for a certain time. So I'll be talking about the registered nurse now. So after studying in Adelaide and finishing and becoming a registered nurse, you will qualify for both 190 and 491, but there are some criteria. Okay, so if you are a graduate of South Australia, you need to be working for at least 3 months in South Australia in your nominated occupation. You must have completed the bachelor degree. Okay, and the minimum point requirement is 65. Apart from that, if you have a GPA of 5 or 5.99, you'll qualify for 491. If you have superior English, or you can also qualify for 491. Registration requirement is there. So basically, this nurse normally qualifies for all the stream. So talent and innovator stream and graduate stream. If you are living in regional area, you will get more waiver and concession. So basically, if you are a graduate, if you find a job, 3 months, you'll qualify for 190 or 491.
All right, so thank you so much. So if you are a graduate nurse from South Australia, you have plenty of options to apply for permanent residency visa in South Australia. So as per our migration agent. So we are here in Adelaide, and we have been helping many students to apply for the permanent residency. So we have been helping students to lodge South Australia 190 and 491 UI and nomination for free at the moment. So if you are a graduate and waiting to apply for your skill assessment or the EOI or the nominations, please do contact us. We will help you to apply your nomination for free. We don't charge anything in the beginning. So definitely we'll help you to guide you through to apply for the permanent residency as well.
I would like to add for someone who is not South Australian graduate. Okay, so if someone is in different state, and if for a nurse, I'm talking about nurse, and if they plan to move to South Australia after getting a job, or want to go there and find a job, if they go and work for 12 months in Greater Adelaide, they'll qualify for 190, or if they work for 6 months in outer regional area, they'll qualify for 190. So if you are moving from different states to South Australia, and if you find a job, work there for 12 months or 6 months in outer regional area, you'll qualify for 190. Or if you want to go with 491, you just need to work for 6 months in Greater Adelaide. Yeah.
Excellent. So South Australia have been recognized for like too many aged care homes and hospitals and everything. So getting a job in South Australia is not that hard. So if you are a graduate nurse from the different states and looking for changes, so you can definitely apply for some jobs in the aged care center or the hospitals in South Australia, and you will be getting 491 or 190 visa as per your requirement. So definitely we are here to welcome you anytime. So definitely we will help you to lodge your 190 and 491 visa or like EOI nomination for free at the moment. I'll pass it to Prakash for some of the questions so he might have, because he's been helping us to enroll students from our Sydney office. So if you have any questions, you can just ask Anil sir. So I'll just pass it to him at the moment.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. Most of the question has been answered by you and Anil sir, but I do have very simple questions from our most of the Nepali background student for clients. So I might ask you some questions in Nepali as well. त्यसैले I have a very, very simple question, Anil sir, for you. हजुरले पहिल्यै एन्सर गरिसक्नुभयो कि जो स्टुडेन्टहरू क्लाइन्टहरू साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया बाहेक अरू स्टेटबाट साउथ अस्ट्रेलियामा गएर एप्लाई गर्न चाहन्छन् 190 र 491 भिजा, तिनीको लागि रिक्वायरमेन्ट के हुन सक्छ, जेनरल रिक्वायरमेन्ट
फर एनी अकुपेसन हैन?
फर एनी अकुपेसन इन जनरल,
एनी अकुपेसन भएपछि हामीले साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया के छ भन्दा उनीहरूले चाहिँ आफ्नै एउटा अकुपेसन लिस्ट निकालेको छ र त्यो अकुपेसन लिस्टहरुमा चाहिँ इच अकुपेसनको रिक्वायरमेन्ट चाहिँ डिफरेन्ट छ है। सो मैले जुन एउटा अब आरएन अब रेस्टुरेन्टको कुरा गरे भने पछि शेफको कुरा गर्नुला, अटोमेटिकको कुरा गर्नुला, त्यो डिफरेन्ट रिक्वायरमेन्टमा पर्न सक्छ हैन। सो हामीले चाहिँ जेनरल क्राइटेरिया डिस्कस गरिरहेको थियौँ अघि नै, र जब हामीले क्लाइन्टलाई भेट्छौँ उनीहरूको ब्याकग्राउन्ड अनुसारको उहाँहरूलाई एडभाइस दिन्छौँ हामीले है। नर्मली चाहिँ यदि कोही स्टुडेन्ट आउटर रिजनलमा बसिरहेछ भने, नर्मली कुनै पनि अकुपेसनमा काम गर्छ भने ऊ चाहिँ क्वालिफाई गर्छ है। अब हामी जेनरलमा है त जेनरल कुरा गर्दाखेरिमा ऊ चाहिँ 491 लाई क्वालिफाई गर्छ। यदि कसैको चाहिँ जिपिए हाई छ 6+ छ भने 190 लाई क्वालिफाई गर्छ। अघि मैले भने जस्तै त्यो बाहेक ऊ त्यहाँको ग्रेजुएट हो भने, यदि उसले चाहिँ त्यही काम अब एडलेडमै काम पायो भने उसले 190 अथवा 491 दुईटैलाई क्वालिफाई गर्न मिल्छ किन एडिलेड आफैमा एउटा रिजनल हो र आउटर रिजनल भनेको अब त्योभन्दा आई थिङ्क अराउन्ड 100 किलोमिटरको सेरोफेरोमा आउटर रिजनल एरिया पर्छ एडिलेडको त्यहाँ गयो भने चाहिँ अझै धेरै वेबर र कन्सेसन छ र हामीले भिजाहरू एप्लाई गर्दा मतलब नोमिनेसनहरू एप्लाई गर्दाखेरिमा चाहिँ अलि सजिलो छ कतिपय केसेसहरुमा कहिले क्राइटेरिया नै मिट हुन्न त्यही पनि if we are living हैन यदि हामी आउटर रिजनल एरियामा बसेका छौं भने we can request and get 491 granted त्यस्तो पनि सिचुएसनहरु भएको छ पास्टमा so I think South Australia is the state that has like too many options, too many pathways PR मतलब यो नोमिनेसनको लागि चाहिँ 491 190 मेरो लागि चाहिँ 491 190 जुन भए पनि I think it's a good visa and I wouldn't mind taking either option है
thank you for that sir अनि अर्को मसँग अर्को क्वेशन के छ भने हामी अहिले जहाँ पनि मार्केटमा नर्सिङ भइरा हुन्छ त्यसैमा अर्को के पनि छ भने कम्युनिटी सर्भिसको कुरा छ हैन यदि एउटा स्टुडेन्ट कम्युनिटी सर्भिसमा क्वालिफाई छ र उले साउथ अस्ट्रेलियामा गएर 491 र 190 भिजा एप्लाई गर्ने चाह्यो भने सिम्पली उले कसरी चाहिँ त्यो गर्न सक्छ के क्वालिफिकेसन कुनमा चाहिँ एक्सेल असेसमेन्ट गरेर गर्न सक्छ भन्ने कुरा एक्चुअली क्लियर गर्नुहुन्छ
नर्मली कम्युनिटी वर्कर वेलफेयर वर्कर अनि हाम्रो वेलफेयर सेन्टर म्यानेजर है वेलफेयर सेन्टर म्यानेजर वेलफेयरहरुको तीनटै चाहिँ पिआर लिस्टमा छ वेलफेयर सेन्टर म्यानेजरको लागि चाहिँ सर्टेन टाइम कामै गर्नुपर्ने भएको भएर अब अलिकति हायर रोलमा त्यसमा स्किल असेसमेन्ट गर्न चाहिँ पढाइ भ्याउने बित्तिकै इजी हुँदैन त्यसबाहेक चाहिँ वेलफेयर वर्कर र कम्युनिटी वर्कर नर्मली डिप्लोमा भएपछि कम्युनिटी वर्करलाई हामी इलिजिबल हुन्छौँ वेलफेयर वर्करलाई चाहिँ ब्याचलर पढ्नुपर्ने हुन्छ सो त्यो चाहिँ क्वालिफाई पढाइ भएपछि एक्रिडेटेड प्रोग्राम छ भने धेरै कुराहरुमा एक्जेम्पसन पाइन्छ यदि हामी जेनरल प्रोग्राम 1 इयरको गरेका छौं भने अथवा हामी पढाइ भएपछि हामीले सर्टेन टाइम काम गर्नुपर्ने रिक्वायरमेन्ट पनि हुन्छ सो एक्रिडेटेड प्रोग्रामको पढ्नु र नपढ्नुको पनि डिफरेन्स छ यो कम्युनिटी सर्भिसमा यो एकदम पपुलर प्रोग्राम छ अहिले धेरै जना स्टुडेन्टहरु चाहिँ टोरेन्स अनि अर्को हाम्रो कलेजमा चाहिँ त्यहाँ धेरै जना पढ्न गइरहनु भएको छ कसरी भेरियसको पोटेन्शियल एकदम राम्रो छ हामी अब वेलफेयर वर्करको कुरा गरौँ यो चाहिँ ग्रेजुएट पाथवेबाट पनि छ 491 लाई पनि इजी छ यदि कसैले एज केयरमा काम गर्यो भने पनि अथवा केयर वर्कर अथवा सपोर्ट वर्कर भएर काम गर्यो भने पनि 18 महिना अथवा 12 महिना पनि रिजनल एरियामा चाहिँ 12 महिना ग्रेटर एरियामा 18 महिना काम गर्यो भने पनि हामी चाहिँ वर्क एक्सपिरियन्स बिना नै एप्लाई गर्ने मिल्ने अप्सन्सहरु छ वेलफेयर वर्करमा यो ट्यालेन्ट इनोभेटर स्ट्रिमबाट नि प्रोग्राममा पनि एलिजिबल छ नोमिनेसनको लागि सो दिस इज अ भेरी गुड पाथवे यदि कसैले कम्युनिटी सर्भिस पढ्दै हुनुहुन्छ भने यदि कसैले ब्याचलरमा इजबेन्ड 7 ल्याउन सक्नु भएन अहिलेको लागि पढ्ने क्रममा भनौं न पढाइको लागि र नर्सिङ पढ्न सक्नु भएन तपाईहरुले अल्टरनेटिभली डिप्लोमा रिडिङ टु ब्याचलर अफ कम्युनिटी सर्भिस गर्नुभयो पनि हुन्छ अथवा डाइरेक्टली 3 इयर्सको ब्याचलर अफ कम्युनिटी सर्भिस गर्नुभयो पनि हुन्छ भेरी राम्रो पोटेन्शियल र भेरी राम्रो पाथवे छ यसबाट पीआर को लागि र डिसेबिलिटी सेक्टरमा भएको भएर काम पाउनु पनि गाह्रो हुँदैन यसमा चाहिँ प्रकाश
Okay, thank you, sir. I do have another very general question. हामी सबैजना स्टुडेन्टहरु आईटी अथवा एकाउन्टिङबाट ग्रेजुएट हुन्छौं र we want to be settled in Australia. So साउथ अस्ट्रेलियामा एकजना एकाउन्टिङ र आईटीबाट ग्रेजुएट मान्छे सेटल हुन चाह्यो भने what are the general requirement for them?
भनेपछि फेरि क्वेशन
यदि आईटी और एकाउन्टिङ ग्रेजुएट साउथ अस्ट्रेलियामा गएर सेटल हुन चाह्यो भने फर एक्जाम्पल 491 भिजा or 190 भिजा हाल्न चाह्यो भने what are the general requirements what they should be doing in general
अहिले हामीले चाहिँ अरु स्टेटबाट चाहिँ त्यहाँ गयो भने के गर्नु पर्छ भन्ने कुरा आइन्छ त हैन
हजुर सर
ओके सो नर्मली यदि कोही स्टुडेन्टले फर एक्जाम्पल एनएसडब्ल्यू बाट अथवा भिक्टोरियाबाट एडिलेड जाने प्लान बनायो भने अब हामीले स्टुडेन्ट भएर स्टुडेन्टले सुरुमा के हेर्नुपर्छ त्यहाँको क्राइटेरिया के छ न त्यहाँ गएर काम गर्नुपर्ने हो कि न रिजनल गएर बस्दा मिल्छ भन्ने कुराहरु चेक गर्नुपर्छ किन भन्दाखेरि अब नर्मली हामी धेरै जस्तो स्टुडेन्टहरु चाहिँ काम पाउँदैनौं भनेर हेजिटेन्ट हुन्छ अनि इन्ट्रेस्टेड जान चाहिँ डर मतलब अलि हिचकिचाउँछ हैन सो त्यहाँको पाथवे बुझेर जान जरुरी छ पाथवे नर्मली चाहिँ यदि हामी आउटर अघि मैले भने यदि हामी आउटर रिजनल एरियामा बस्छौं र त्यहाँ 1 वर्ष काम गर्छौं भने नर्मली हामीलाई चाहिँ 491 लाई क्वालिफाई हुने अप्सन्स हुन्छ है अब यदि त्यो बाहेक हामीले अब यदि ग्रेटर एडिलेडमै एकाउन्टेन्टबाट पीआर ट्राई गर्ने भने हामीले 24 मन्थ्स काम गर्नुपर्छ आफ्नै फिल्डमा हैन भने हामीले 12 महिना रिजनल एरियामा काम गर्नुपर्छ त्यो चाहिँ रिक्वायरमेन्ट हो है अनि 190 को अप्सन्स चाहिँ ट्यालेन्ट इनोभेटर स्ट्रिमबाट मात्र एभाइलेबल छ आउटर स्टेटबाट यदि साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया जाँदै हुनुहुन्छ भने तपाईहरु र तर 190 ले एलिजिबल भयो भने पनि इट्स अप टु दियर जजमेन्ट है एसए माइग्रेसनको जजमेन्टमा भर पर्छ कुन भिजा दिने भनेर हामी त्यो स्ट्रिमलाई एलिजिबल भयो भने पनि so best options I think if someone is migrating from different state to South Australia they might consider especially accounting IT को त still job पाउने अझै still possible accounting is अलि tough देखिन्छ र इन्भिटेसन पनि अलि इजिली दिएको देखिँदैन अकाउन्टिङलाई त्यही भएर आई वुड सजेस्ट बरु हामी आउटर रिजनल एरियामा जाने त्यहाँ बस्ने त्यही काम गर्ने अरु अल्टरनेटिभ अप्सन के पढाइको छ जस्तो कि अब अहिले धेरै जना स्टुडेन्टहरु चाहिँ इनरोल नर्स डिप्लोमा अफ नर्सिङ पढ्न जानुहुन्छ यस्तो अकाउन्टिङ ब्याकग्राउन्ड भएको अलिकति चान्सेस हाई बनाउनको लागि चाहिँ रिजनल एरियामै बस्ने त्यही एज केयरको काम गर्ने अनि त्यसपछि डिप्लोमा अफ नर्सिङ गर्ने गरेको नि अहिले हामी धेरै देखेका छौं त्यो भयो भने हामीले लगभग 1.5 वर्षको त्यहाँ त डिप्लोमा अफ नर्सिङ हुन्छ र त्यो डिप्लोमा अफ नर्सिङ पढ्ने क्रममा हामीले सर्टेन टाइम त काम पनि गरेको हुन्छ एज केयरमा अनि इनरोल नर्सको लागि चाहिँ सर्टेन टाइम काम गरेपछि सर्टेन एक्जेम्पसनहरु छ पढाइ भएपछि फर्दर वर्क एक्सपिरियन्सको रिक्वायरमेन्ट हुँदैन 491 को लागि चाहिँ है सो त्यस्तो अप्सन्सहरु हुन्छ अब यो केस बाइ केस अब स्टुडेन्टको अब क्लाइन्टको इच्छा अनुसार हामीले गाइड गर्नुपर्छ सो नर्मली चाहिँ सिटीबाट पीआर पाउने हो भने दे हैव टु गो एन्ड वर्क इन द फिल्ड र हैन अब अलि इजी अप्सन हो भने मेबी दे क्यान प्लान स्टडीङ अल्टरनेटिभ अलि सर्ट कोर्स भनेको डिप्लोमा अफ नर्सिङ जुन चाहिँ पपुलर छ जसमा चाहिँ जो चाहिँ स्टुडेन्टहरुले टीआर मा भएको बेला पढ्छन् र यदि आउटर रिजनल एरियामा बस्नु भएको छ भने त्यही बस्दा बस्दै त्यही काम गर्नुभयो भने चाहिँ पढाइ भएपछि वर्क एक्सपिरियन्सको रिक्वायरमेन्ट हुँदैन सिधै 491 लाई क्वालिफाई हुन्छ र यदि तपाईले ग्रेजुएट भएर चाहिँ सर्टेन अथवा ग्रेजुएटको काम गर्नु भएको छैन आउटर रिजनल एरियामा भने चाहिँ 3 मन्थ अथवा 12 मन्थ 190 को लागि चाहिँ काम गर्नुपर्छ डिप्लोमा नर्सिङ भएपछि रजिस्ट्रेसन आएपछि है अब अहिले तत्कालै त्यहाँ अब 2-4 कलेजहरुमा यो अक्टोबर इन्टेक के मार्च इन्टेक चाहिँ ओपन भइरहेछ डिप्लोमा अफ नर्सिङको लागि सो यदि कसैले अब भिडियो हेर्दै हुनुहुन्छ र तपाईले के प्लान गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ यु क्यान कन्सिडर मुभिङ टु साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया यदि तपाई अकाउन्टिङ ग्रेजुएट हुनुहुन्छ आईटी ग्रेजुएट हुनुहुन्छ तपाईहरुको हाई इंग्लिश छैन हैन अथवा तपाईहरुलाई पीआर निकाल्न अरु स्टेटमा गाह्रो भएको छ यु क्यान कन्सिडर मुभिङ टु साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया अनि नर्सिङ अथवा अरु कुनै अप्सन्सहरु हुन्छ यु क्यान डिस्कस विथ अस है
ओके थ्यांक यू आन्सर तपाईले सबै प्रश्नहरुको एन्सर त दिइसक्नुभयो बट आई स्टिल हैव फ्यु मोर हामी सधैँ नर्सिङको अन्डर ग्रेजुएट ब्याचलर गरेको नर्सिङ अथवा अकाउन्टिङ पढेको अथवा आईटी पढेको मान्छेहरुको मात्र कुरा गरिरहन्छौं आज मसँग एउटा क्वेशन चाहिँ यो ट्रेड कोर्स गरिरहेको मान्छे जसले चाहिँ सेफ गरिरहनु भएको छ द कमर्सियल कुकरी पढिरहनु भएको छ मेकानिकल पढिरहनु भएको छ अनि कार्पेन्टर यो पढिरहनु भएको छ उहाँहरुलाई क्लियर पीआर पाथवे चाहिँ के हुन सक्छ त इन जनरल
डेफिनेटली हामीले चाहिँ अब अकुपेसन लिस्टमा गएर पहिला कुन चाहिँ लागि एलिजिबल छन् त है अब त्यही पढेको स्टुडेन्टहरुको लागि के क्राइटेरिया छ बाहिरबाट जानेको लागि के क्राइटेरिया छ त्यो हेर्नुपर्छ अब नर्मली 65 पोइन्ट मिनिमम पोइन्ट हुनुपर्ने रहेछ त्यो सेफको लागि म सेफको लागि कुरा गर्दैछु अहिले र कुक पनि एलिजिबल छ साउथ अस्ट्रेलियामा चाहिँ नर्मली कुक चाहिँ अब एनएसडब्ल्यूमा नर्मली सिटीमा हुँदैन 190 को लागि क्वालिफाई गर्दैन कुकले पनि साउथ अस्ट्रेलियामा चाहिँ कुक शेफ दुईटै छ इभन स्टुडेन्ट म्यानेजरहरु पनि हुनुपर्छ आई थिंक इट वाज देयर है त्यो पनि लिस्टमा छ सो त्यहाँ चाहिँ हस्पिटलिटी पढ्ने स्टुडेन्टहरुको लागि पनि राम्रो डेस्टिनेसन हो साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया चाहिँ है सो यदि कोही मान्छे सेफ भएर रिजनल मुभ हुन्छ भने साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया मुभ हुन्छ भने दे हैव टु बी वर्किङ फर 18 मन्थ इन रिजनल एरिया टु क्वालिफाई फर 190 अथवा 18 मन्थ्स इन ग्रेटर एडिलेड or 6 months in outer regional area to qualify for 491 भनेसी 190 को आफ्नै क्राइटेरिया छ त्यसको लागि चाहिँ 491 को लागि चाहिँ कि 18 महिना सिटी एडिलेड बसेर काम गर्नु पर्यो हैन भने 6 महिना आउटर रिजनल एरियामा गएर काम गर्नु पर्यो त्यसबाहेक अब रिजनलमा बसेको अनुसार पनि इन्भिटेसन दिन्छ ट्यालेन्ट एन्ड इनोभेटर्स प्रोग्रामबाट चाहिँ यो चाहिँ हामीले आरओआई हाल्ने हो ट्यालेन्ट एन्ड इनोभेटर्स प्रोग्राममा धेरै कन्फ्युजन हुन्छ यो चाहिँ रजिस्ट्रेसन इन्ट्रेस्ट हाल्ने हो एन्ड इट्स अप टु माइग्रेसन साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया माइग्रेसन डिस्कसन टु गिभ द इन्भिटेसन है अनि हामीले छान्न नि पाउने इट्स अप टु देम कुन चाहिँ नोमिनेसन दिने 190 कि 491 भन्ने हुन्छ त्यो चाहिँ सेफको लागि हो अनि यदि कसैले त्यही गएर पढ्नु भएको छ भने इफ दे वर्क फर 12 months they'll qualify for 190 in city Adelaide if they work for 3 month in regional, they will qualify for 491, right? So criteria अब सेफ भनेको आफैमा एउटा प्र्याक्टिकल सब्जेक्ट हो, अटोमेटिक भनेको आफैमा प्र्याक्टिकल सब्जेक्ट हो, कार्पेन्ट्री भनेको आफैमा प्र्याक्टिकल सब्जेक्ट हो, यो चाहिँ इन ह्यान्ड स्किल भएको सब्जेक्ट हो। सो यसमा यिनीहरू पढेपछि हामीलाई जबहरू पाउनु पनि गाह्रो हुन पर्ने होइन, किनभने यो त एकदमै हाई डिमान्ड छ सबै जबहरूको लागि, स्पेसली अब कतिपय ठाउँमा त सेफ सर्टेज भयो भनेर बाहिरबाट स्पोन्सर गरेको मान्छेहरू ल्याउनु पाएन भनेर कति न्युजहरू हामी पढिरहेछौँ होइन। सो यस्तो टाइममा एभ्री इयर अझै कोभिड 1 वर्ष 6 महिना अझै देखिन्छ, अझै बोर्डर क्लोज हुने देखिन्छ, अझै 6 months to 1 year अझै पनि यो टाइममा चाहिँ अझै यो रिजनल एरियाहरू अझै बढी चाहिँ फ्लेक्सिबल हुँदै आउँछन् कि, किन यस्तो स्किल भएको चाहिँ पिपुलहरू चाहिँ हुँदैनन्। सो दे विल गेट द क्राइटेरिया मोर फ्लेक्सिबल, अनि उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ त्यस्तो स्किल भएको मान्छेहरू चाहिँ उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ पिआर दिन खोज्छ, ट्राई गर्छन्, बरु उनीहरूले अलिक बढी फ्लेक्सिबल हुन खोज्छन् कि। सो कसैले ट्रेड अकुपेसन पढ्न खोज्दै हुनुहुन्छ भने डेफिनेटली एनएसडब्ल्यू भन्दा, भिक्टोरिया भन्दा, इभन ब्रिस्बेन भन्दा, आइम टकिङ अबाउट सिटी भन्दा साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया इज फार मोर बेटर। त्यहाँ गएपछि तपाईँहरूको पिआर चाहिँ प्रिटी स्योर हुन्छ।
ओके, थ्याङ्क यू अनिल सर। हामीले यत्रो बेर साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया कति ग्रेट छ भनेर कुरा गऱ्यौँ, सबै कुराहरू डिस्कस भइसक्यो। त कम्पेयर टु लास्ट इयर अहिले साउथ अस्ट्रेलियाले निकालेको नयाँ रुल्सहरू इमिग्रेसन सम्बन्धी इजियर हो त?
फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी बढाएको छ, अनि कोटाहरू पनि बढेको छ भनेपछि इट्स अ गुड न्युज आफैमा होइन। अब लास्ट इयर चाहिँ अब खुल्यो, एकैछिनमा एउटा अकुपेसन हटायो, फेरि खुल्यो, फेरि 2 दिनपछि आज छ भने भोलिपल्ट छैन नै भन्नु परेको थियो लास्ट इयर। योचोटि चाहिँ आई थिङ्क देयर इज ह्युज डिमान्ड फर मोस्ट अफ द अकुपेसन, अनि अहिले चाहिँ मेनी पिपुल आर रिलेटिभली हेजिटेन्ट है, अलिकति मुभ गरिहाल्न अलिक हेजिटेन्ट छ, किनभने अब एनएसडब्ल्यू पनि राम्रो कोटाजहरू छ होइन, एसिटीमा पनि राम्रै कोटा छ, अनि अब मेबी दे थिङ्क अलिक कम्पिटिसन छैन भनेर अलिकति हेजिटेन्ट छन्। बट त्यो हुँदै पनि साउथ अस्ट्रेलियाको जुन नयाँ रुल्स आयो त्यसपछि चाहिँ अलि भन्नु अलिकति पिआर चाहने मान्छेहरू चाहिँ मुभमेन्ट चाहिँ गरिहाल्छन्। खास गरी इफ दे फाइन्ड समथिङ इजियर रुल्स दे विल जस्ट मुभ टु द्याट स्टेट के, अनि हामीले पनि त्यो अनुसार गाइड गरिदिन्छौँ हाम्रो क्लाइन्टहरूलाई। सो साउथ अस्ट्रेलियाको नयाँ रुल्स जुन छ जसमा चाहिँ 4-5 वटा फ्लेक्सिबिलिटीहरू आएको छ, जुन सुपिरियर इङ्ग्लिसको रिक्वायरमेन्ट मतलब पहिला थिएन, जस्तो कि 8 ल्याएपछि 491 एप्लाई गर्न पाउने, 5 to 5.99 6 GPA आयो भने अब धेरै फ्लेक्सिबिलिटीहरू छ अहिले। आउटर रिजनमा 1 वर्ष बसेर कुनै पनि काम गऱ्यो भने हुने होइन, धेरै फ्लेक्सिबिलिटीहरू छ। ट्यालेन्ट्स एन्ड इनोभेटर्स प्रोग्राममा स्पेसल्ली कोही मान्छे स्किलफुल छ, उसको कुनै पनि वेबाट स्किल देखिन्छ भने, चाहे त्यो इङ्ग्लिसमा होस्, काममा होस्, अथवा राम्रो ग्रेजुएट होस् साउथ अस्ट्रेलियाको, दे विल क्वालिफाई फर आइदर अफ द प्रोग्राम इन साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया। सो इट्स अ भेरी गुड स्टेट पिआर अप्सनको लागि चाहिँ। सो एनीवन शुड कन्सिडर इट है।
Okay, thank you, Anil sir. I think I don't have any more questions. Most of the questions has been answered already. Thank you. तपाईहरु लाइभ हेर्दै हुनुहुन्छ र तपाईहरुलाई कुनै पनि एडभाइस अथवा सर्भिस चाहिएमा तपाईहरु हामीलाई अहिले चाहिँ रिमोटली इमेल गर्दा हुन्छ, फेसबुकमा कनेक्ट गर्दा हुन्छ अथवा फोन गर्दा हुन्छ। I'm sure Prabhat sir have few more questions to ask, so I'll pass it to Prabhat sir. Thank you, Anil sir. Thank you, Prabhat sir.
Thank you, Prakash sir. Definitely, yes, I do have some of the questions. सरले अघि भनिराख्नु भएको थियो नि, जस्तै साउथ अस्ट्रेलियामा चाहिँ आउटर रिजनलमा गएर 1 year काम गर्यो भने कुनै पनि अकुपेसनको लागि चाहिँ पिआर सजिलो छ भन्नुभएको थियो। Can you just elaborate more regarding this? So, is there any particular the qualifications needed or the occupation or skill assessment needed, or what if so they can go to regional and they can work in their different field as well to get the 491 visa? Anil sir, mute on just like actually.
Sorry. Okay, so normally nomination like 3 stream मैले अघि नै भनिहालेँ, जसमध्ये चाहिँ अब हामी कुन चाहिँ स्ट्रिमको लागि क्वालिफाई गर्छौँ भनेर हामीले चाहिँ चेक गर्नुपर्छ। ट्यालेन्ट एन्ड इनोभेटर प्रोग्राम भयो, त्यसभित्रै 6 वटा जस्तो स्ट्रिम छ, छुट्टै आफैमा आई थिङ्क 5 स्ट्रिम छ। त्यसपछि अर्को चाहिँ करेन्टली वर्किङ इन साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया भन्ने स्ट्रिम छ, इन्क्लुडिङ लङ टर्म रेजिडेन्स है। अनि अर्को चाहिँ ग्रेजुएटको कुरा भयो। अब हामीले चाहिँ कुरा गरिरहेको भनेको यदि त्यो अकुपेसन चाहिँ रिजनलमा बसेको मान्छे यदि कुनै मान्छेको इलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया हेर्नुपर्छ। जस्तो कि तपाईँ हामीले साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया अकुपेसन लिस्टमा गएर हेऱ्यौँ भने डिफ्रेन्ट अकुपेसनको चाहिँ सबैमा क्वालिफाई गर्दैन, सर्टेन अकुपेसन क्वालिफाई गर्छ, सर्टेन गर्दैन है। सो फर इक्जाम्पल हामी अब एकाउन्टेन्टको कुरा गरौँ, जुन चाहिँ अलि अब मान्छेहरू एकाउन्टिङ पढेको मान्छे अलिक बढी ओरिड हुन्छन् अरू अकुपेसन भन्दा होइन। फेरि ब्याक टु द्याट पार्ट जाँदाखेरिमा चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ एक्जेम्सन आर एभाइलेबल फर एप्लिकेन्ट लिभिङ एन्ड वर्किङ इन आउटर रिजनल एरिया साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया भनेको छ होइन। अब भनेपछि यदि कोही मान्छे चाहिँ एकाउन्टिङ मान्छे रिजनलमा गएर मिनिमम 12 मन्थ बस्छ र 12 मन्थ काम गर्छ कुनै पनि फिल्डमा भने विल क्वालिफाई फर 491 भन्ने बुझिन्छ है। ओके सो यदि आउटर एक्जेम्सन त्यो अकुपेसनमा चाहिँ एक्जेम्सन छ कि छैन भनेर हामीले जब अकुपेसनको लिस्ट खोल्छौँ साउथ अस्ट्रेलियाको वेबसाइटमा गएर देन वी क्यान क्लियरली सी इट्स भेरी इजी। साउथ अस्ट्रेलियाको यो रिक्वायरमेन्ट एकदम इजी बनाएको छ। पहिला चाहिँ इट वाज भेरी डिफिकल्ट। लास्ट इयरबाट चाहिँ when you open the occupation we can see under what stream the client will qualify for the nomination. Definitely case by case we have to more dig गरेर हेर्नुपर्छ कहिलेकाहीँ। अब ट्यालेन्ट एन्ड इनोभेटर प्रोग्राम पनि कुन चाहिँ स्ट्रिममा चाहिँ हामीले पार्टिकुलर क्लाइन्टलाई फिट गर्न सक्छौँ। if he is highly caliber, if he is highly skilled, if he wants to open a business, you know, if he has been offered a job by a very big industry, in a high position, good salary. So त्यो talent innovator program को एउटा आफ्नै option भयो। Normally त्यो program बाट चाहिँ 190 visa grant हुने option हो। अर्को भनेको चाहिँ अब हाम्रो आउटर रिजनल एरिया भयो र लङ टर्म रिजनलमा बस्ने मान्छेको लागि भयो। कोही 3 years 5 years बस्छ भने पनि 491 को अप्सन्स छ। यदि कसैको इनफ पोइन्टहरु छैन, कसैले कामहरु आफ्नो फिल्डमा भएको छैन भने पनि सबै एकमुष्टै हेर्दाखेरिमा साउथ अस्ट्रेलियामा चाहिँ मसँग यो छैन भने यो अप्सन छ है भन्ने छ के। त्यो त्यसरी बुझौँ न एक हिसाबले हैन। सो कोही पनि मान्छे यदि साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया माइग्रेट गर्छ भने र त्यहाँ मिनिमम 1 to 2 years बस्छ भने you will have 491, at least you will have 491, त्यसरी बुझौँ हामीले।
Thank you, sir. Yeah, so it's very good news for all the students who wish to move to South Australia or who had just been graduated from South Australian universities or institutions.
अनि अर्को चाहिँ ग्रेजुएट स्ट्रिम इज अलवेज पपुलर, त्यसलाई चाहिँ प्रायोरिटाइज पनि गरिन्छ है। त्यही भएर ग्रेजुएटहरुलाई बढी प्रायोरिटाइज दिन्छन् अथवा बढी इन्भिटेसन आउँछ भन्ने हिसाबले पनि वी रेकमेन्ड समवन टु स्टडी इन साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया अल द टाइम है। यदि कोही स्टुडेन्टहरु 1 year पढ्दै हुनुहुन्छ, 3 years को ब्याचलर प्रोग्राम गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ भने if you want to migrate to South Australia or you have to study 50% at least ग्रेजुएट प्रोग्रामको लागि चाहिँ एलिजिबल हुनको लागि त्यो कन्सिडर गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। कतिपयहरुले त्यो अप्सन बुझ्नु भएको हुँदैन। यदि कसैले अरु स्टेटमा पढ्नु भएको छ र आदि अन द हाफ अफ द वे हुनुहुन्छ भने तपाईले क्रेडिट लिएर अब तपाईहरुको क्वालिफिकेसन अनुसारको युनिभर्सिटी कलेज खोजेर तपाईहरुले माइग्रेट गरेर चाहिँ एसए को ग्रेजुएट भएर चाहिँ फर्दर 491 र 190 को लागि क्वालिफाई पनि गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ।
All right, it's very good news for all the graduates, especially for accounting graduate, because they are very worried. So they have opportunity to go to regional places and work in the different field, and they may eligible to apply for 491 visa. So which is eventually leading to a permanent residency. So that's very good. Thank you so much, Anil sir. I have another question as well. So if a student watching us from the interstate and they are in a 485 visa and they are just planning to move into the different states, so what do you tell them to consider South Australia as their further study destinations in order to pursue their permanent residency? What do you prefer them to study here to get into a permanent residency pathway?
So I have already given a list in my presentation, the popular program in South Australia. So if they are, it depends. If they are on 485 visa, if they are going on 485 visa, what would they consider studying? I think the best thing would be doing a diploma of nursing. If not, maybe diploma of community service. Or if they are planning to study, they might consider doing nursing, bachelor of community service, or bachelor of IT, or social work. There are safe, cook, automotive. There are many trade occupations, telecommunication engineer, civil engineer, draft person. We are talking about short courses as well, and that it takes 2 years, and they are affordable as well. And so options are धेरै छन् है। मेन भनेको अब सबै अब क्लाइन्टहरुको स्टुडेन्टको आफ्नै डिफिकल्टिजहरु हुन्छ, आफ्नै अब क्राइटेरिया मिट गर्ने सक्ने गर्न नसक्ने क्षमता हुन्छ। त्यो हिसाबले चाहिँ हामीले उहाँहरूलाई गाइड गर्ने हो हैन। अब त्यही भएर यदि के भन्न चाहन्छु भन्दा साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया इज द बेस्ट डेस्टिनेसन। मलाई यो जुन अप्सन्सको हिसाबले चाहिँ आई वुड प्रिफर, धेरैजना मैले क्यानबेरा मुभ भइरहेको देख्छु अहिले, आई वुड प्रिफर साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया ओभर क्यानबेरा भन्छु अहिले म, किन जुन फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी अहिले साउथ अस्ट्रेलिया लिएर आएको छ त्यो चाहिँ एकदमै इजी छ र पोइन्ट कम्पिटिसन धेरै छैन। यदि स्किललाई आफ्नै फिल्डमा जब भएकोलाई त देयर इज नो प्रब्लम, इजिली इन्भिटेसन आउँछ, नहुनेलाई पनि विल नट ग्यारेन्टी हैन। त्यही भएर मैले एकाउन्टिङको लागि पनि तपाईँ रिजनल गएर बस्नु मात्र भन्ने, दे माइट कन्सिडर डुइङ एटलिस्ट सम कोर्स हैन। दे वान्ट टु ग्रेजुएट बिकज ग्रेजुएट स्ट्रिमलाई प्रायोरिटाइज हुन्छ, ग्रेजुएट स्ट्रिमलाई चाहिँ इन्भिटेसन लिन सजिलो छ हैन। सो दे माइट कन्सिडर स्टडिङ समथिङ। त्यसमा डिप्लोमा नर्सिङको कुरा गरेँ। अब अरू पढाइहरूको लागि चाहिँ अब जब रेडी प्रोग्रामहरू गर्नुपर्छ कि सर्टेन इयर काम गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ ट्रेड अकुपेसनको लागि, तर ट्रेड अकुपेसन चाहिँ म टिआरमा जाने स्टुडेन्टहरूको लागि चाहिँ रेकमेन्डेसनमा राख्दिनँ। दे माइट कन्सिडर डुइङ टेलिकम्युनिकेसन इन्जिनियर एडभान्स डिप्लोमा 2 इयर्सको हुन्छ, or they might consider doing civil engineer draft person। अब त्यो पढाइको लागि चाहिँ फर्दर कुनै पनि क्राइटेरिया छैन इन्जिनियर अस्ट्रेलियाबाट स्किल एसेसमेन्टको लागि, एन्ड दे विल क्वालिफाई है। त्यो दुईटा पार्टिकुलर सब्जेक्टको लागि चाहिँ यदि जब रेडी प्रोग्रामहरू गर्नु पर्दैन, फर्दर इम्प्लोइमेन्टको रिक्वायरमेन्ट नभएको चाहिँ दुईटा अकुपेसन हो।
All right, so yeah, if you have just completed your graduation from different states and looking forward to going to a PR pathway, so diploma of nursing could be a better options. So once you completed your diploma of nursing, you don't have to have any work experience in order to get the skill assessment. So that will be an easy pathway to apply for the permanent residency. And there is not any work experience required to apply for the 491 visa as well in the South Australia. So that is another excited news for all the international students. I have few questions left because you have answered all of them anyway. So, okay. So lastly, so what do you say to all the students watching us? So how can they start processing the PR applications with Kangaroo Educations?
So we have our office in Adelaide. So definitely you can contact Prabhat sir. You can visit us. We can discuss your case because everybody has a different case. Okay, so we will fit you in one of the criteria in essay. We will advise you properly. We'll make sure you will get your settlement 491 or 190 in South Australia. I would like to ask everybody to contact us once. If you want your free assessment for your nomination, we will do that as well for free. And especially now we are offering free EOI and nomination lodgement. If there is no nomination grant, you don't have to pay us anything. So if you want to lodge your EOI and nomination, you can contact our Adelaide office or Professor or me, and we will help you with your nomination and EOI.
Excellent, good news. Because we have seen a lot of students, they are lodging their nomination and the EOI themselves, and they are just afraid whether they made any mistakes or not, because this is very vital for their future. So we encourage them to contact us because we are lodging those EOI and nomination for free with the help of the expert migration agent. So you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to take any hassle. So just contact us, give us your details, then we help you to lodge the invitations and nomination in order to go for your PR pathway. So we are here in Adelaide. We are in level 6, 68 Grenfell Street. So we are here 5 days a week, 9 to 5. So we are not open this week, but definitely from next Monday, we will be here in the office due to all the restrictions and everything in South Australia. So we are happy that the lockdown has been ended. So we'll be in our office from next Monday, 9 to 5. We have a few questions from our live. So one of the questions was from Dipal Bandari, but it's not related to migration. So I can ask Dipal to contact Anil sir directly because that's the different question. So he might able to answer you directly in your personal call or anything. And we have another questions from Vivek Casey, and he has asked on relevant questions here. So we are doing the migration session for Australia. So he has some questions regarding a different country. So if you have any questions regarding different country, you can always contact us directly to our office. So if you are in Sydney, you can contact our Prakasar or Anil sir in Sydney. Then if you are in different states, then you can contact our respective offices anyway. So I think that's all pretty much. So thank you so much, Anil sir. We are in Adelaide. We are helping all the students lodge UI and nomination for free, and all the migration consultation as well. So if you have any questions or anything, you can always book your consultation. So we'll be able to provide consultation over Zoom or Skype or anything at the moment, because we are not able to meet physically in Sydney office, and in Adelaide he's not in Adelaide. So definitely we have to organize the Zoom session. So we are happy to do that in your convenient time, because all the students are busy. We can understand that. So thank you so much, everyone. So I think that's all from my end. And if you have anything, and Anil sir.
Yeah, I would like to say, if you are trying to take any decision out of this session, do contact us before taking any decision from this session today, because there might be a few information that you might not have fully gotten from only this session. So as I said, there are different streams, there are different requirements. So if you don't assume anything, don't take a risk. We are there and we are doing it for free, your UI and nomination. So contact our Adelaide office, or you can contact us directly. We will surely help you out. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching us live today. It's nearly 1 hour, so thank you so much for your patience. Taking us for 1 hour, so such a long time. So yeah, thank you, Prakash sir, for giving us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Anil sir.
Informative information. Thank you everyone, and we'll be back again next week, sometime next week, for another session. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching.